Listen, it's about to go down. Why that man can't be faithful, why he won't do right. When we speak of man, we're not just talking in terms of gender, we're talking about humanity. So the woman is enclosed inside of the man. When we say man, when I use man, I'm talking, it can be applied to man or woman, but I'm specifically and generally talking about the male species. Anyway, there's a reason he can't be faithful. He's tasted something that has created an appetite, and now it's running out of control. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to invite somebody, share, tell your friends, family, tell your girlfriends, your homeboys, tell them coffee time is on. Invite somebody, share, and we'll be back right after this.
Coffee time, coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time over crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on. Coffee time in my life. Coffee time feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you serve it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on. Time in my life. Coffee time feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you serve it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.
And just like that, we are back. So there's a reason I'm diving right in. I need you to invite somebody to share. There's a reason men can't be faithful. For those of you on all of our platforms, I want to say good morning to you. For those of you that are on YouTube, special good morning to you. You make my life smile. You make my heart shine. So I'm not going to go down the road, but I got to get a very good shout out to Renika Diamond, right? You rock. All of you rock, but I appreciate Renika. All right. So there's a reason he can't be faithful. Now, I'm going to take you back. If you've not seen the last 2 days of Coffee Time, there are a lot of this information that I'm getting ready to share you're probably going to miss. You need to look at the last 2 days. Though they are lengthy, I promise you it'll change your perspective about how you view some of the things that you've seen. So there's a reason he can't be faithful, and there's a reason that he adores his side piece. In some cases, these jokers will honor the side piece over their mama. That side piece becomes so important. They become such an intricate part of their life that they defend the side piece. Some case they leave the wife, go be with the side piece. Well, people think that it's just sex, and it's not. In fact, it has nothing to do with anything physical. So let me take you back to the Garden of Eden. All right. In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve were told, don't eat off the tree. Now, there's a law. It's called the law of first mention. How something is mentioned in Scripture, in Bible, it must carry that same attitude, perspective throughout Scripture. And everything that God created, he gave it seed and told it to reproduce after its kind. Well, in the reproduction after its kind, there was a tree in the midst of the garden called the tree of knowledge. On that tree was good and evil, meaning they were forbidden, Adam and Eve were forbidden to eat off that tree, because in the day that they ate of it, they would know right from wrong. So this tells me that they had been conditioned to think a certain way, and the eating of the tree would persuade or introduce a different level of thought, different capacity of thought. They would begin to embrace different ideologies except for the idea that was laid before them. That's real important to know. Now, the tree it's a metaphor. It is a metaphor because there are no trees of knowledge now. However, they weren't supposed to eat off of it. Now, check this. The reason they were not supposed to eat off that tree is because it was going to open up a part of the mind that God never intended to be exposed. So there are parts of your brain. Scientists says we only use 10% of our brain. What's going on with the other 90? How is it that we only use 10%? That is a small portion. It's actually a tithe of the mind. If you're really smart, they say 15%. So what's happening with the other 85? What's happening with the other 85, 90% of the brain? Here's the deal. The other 85, 90% of the brain lies in dormant. And the only way to tap into those parts of our mind is we have to be habitual learners. We have to be people that are about change and learning simultaneously daily. The more you learn, the more you change, the more of that part of your mind that is lying in dormant you tap into, so you can increase the wealth of knowledge that you have by staying and becoming a student of life, learning every day, memorizing every day, changing every day. Find something to change in you, find something to learn, find something to read. And those things helps us tap into the untapped portion of our brain. So Adam and Eve were warned not to eat off that tree because it was going to open up a part of the mind that God never intended to be exposed. Now, this is very important when we talk about side piece. Side piece can be a man too. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I need you all to invite somebody, share, tell them we are on. Side piece can be a man. So they open up a side of the mind that gave them information, that gave them knowledge, but also created desire. Prior to them eating off the tree, there was certain information that was in them, but they did not have access to, because their obedience to God became a gateway and a safe course for the mind. The mind was safe to not imagine and to not think outside of the circumference of good. They couldn't think evil because God had placed a gate, and as long as they were obedient to him, they stayed within the realm of safety in their own mind. The moment they ate of the tree, they opened their mind up, and they began to know and see things that was always there, because they were made in his image after his likeness. They always had the ability to see it, but they removed somewhat what a dam is to water. They removed the dam that was protecting their mind. It's the same thing with homosexuality and lesbianism. It's a part of the mind that is open that was not supposed to be exposed. Once it gets open, in some cases, it never goes back. So the side piece causes a part of the mind to be exposed, and it's the part that deals with reason. So most, you got to be real good. You got to be real good to step outside of covenant and maintain balance, and parts of your mind you not lose. I tell people all the time that women are better cheaters than men, because when a man cheats, when he enters into the portion of the mind that was forbidden, the forbidden fruit is in his mind. Something in him, on him, around him changes. His countenance changes. Who he is, his characteristics begin to change. A man will wear guilt, the guilt of his conscience. You can see it in his face. So what men do to try to hide the guilt is they hide their face. How do they hide their face? I'm so glad you asked. They stay at work. They go to the park. When they get home, instead of staying up doing their normal routine, all of a sudden they're extremely sleepy. They don't want to be bothered. They're in their man cave. They're hiding. They're saying they got this, they got that. They beat you getting mad. He's hiding his face because his countenance is fallen and something inside of him has changed. Now, that is when his countenance falls, it's generally in the embryonic stages of him being unfaithful. The more unfaithful he becomes, the more he trains his countenance to follow the deceit of his fall. So he now begins to train himself, and it takes him time, with the poker face. He never answers questions directly. You ask him a simple question, and he either gets mad, shut down, walk out, say, I don't have time for this, or he answers a question with the question. Because your questioning requires truth. Truth is not something that he can give, because if he gives truth, he's going to expose where he is. This started in the garden. After they ate off the tree, first thing God asks is, where are you, Adam? Now, he wasn't talking about what's your geographical location. He knew exactly where they were. They were where he had placed them. But when he says, where art Adam, where are you? He was saying, Adam, something in you has changed. Adam, there's an awareness that you've entered into and your countenance has fallen. Adam, why do you need clothes? Who told you you were naked? So this information that came available to Adam happened after there was the exchange with the tree. The dam that was protecting his mind to keep him safe from having to choose between good and evil, the dam is broken, and now good and evil is working together within him. It's called iniquity. Well, I know I'm talking good. It's called iniquity. So now man, for the first time in creation, cannot decipher good from evil. They look the same. So he runs to a tree to make he and Eve clothes. And God asked him, well, who told you were naked, sir? This could have been, we don't know. This could have been 1,000 years after Adam was created. We don't know how long they lived in the garden before they ate of the tree. Could have been 1,000, 3,000, could have been 300. We have no idea. What we do know is there was a lot of time that had gone by. Adam was born, created naked. He never had clothes. So all of a sudden, why are you trying to cover what God exposed? Because when a man's countenance falls, the first thing that he does, he runs for cover. He has to hide. Your body, you got to keep in mind. Go back and listen to the last 2 days. God is truth. They that worship must worship in spirit and truth. And God being true, he created us in truth. So whenever we don't walk in truth, we talked about this yesterday. When we walk in deceit, we put our mind, our body in reverse. That's where sickness and disease generally comes from. We're walking in reverse. So when Adam had forsaken truth, he now wants to hide what God has exposed, and his hiding now becomes symbolic of a new truth of man's heart. He's learned how to lie. Lying is hiding. So I take something that was created to make the garden look good, and I use it as clothes. God didn't make them trees to be clothes. Now, here's the thing. I believe that the leaves from the tree can hide me. Because I generated this lie, I believe this lie. Now I'm deceived with this lie to believe that everybody else is going to think like I'm thinking. I'm training my soul how to lie. So those leaves represent a lie. They were green. They look healthy. They look like they were alive. But those leaves died the moment they were disconnected from their branches. So Adam took something that was dying to cover something that was living. What happens when you put a decayed apple with a bunch of live apples? One spoiled apple spoils the bunch. So what was dead is now decaying on truth. One lie. In court, we have to examine everything you've ever said. When God saw Adam lying, hiding, lying with the dead leaves because they were disconnected from their branches, from their vines. It's the vine that gives us life. I am the true vine. My Father is the husbandman. As long as we are connected to the vine, we live. The vine is truth. So there's life in truth. There's death in lie. Did you not know scientists? Let me tell you what happens to the mind when it lies. Automatically, you see people. Did you not know scientifically you look to the left when you're telling a lie? Now, just because you look to the left doesn't mean you're lying. But the eyes, it takes a lot of training to keep your eyes straight when you're lying. There are other things that I told you yesterday. Science says that enzymes are released in the body that have been proven to cause cancer when you tell a lie. Because your body is accustomed to truth, and when it is introduced to deception, it doesn't know how to respond or react, so it spazzes out. Because a part of the mind has been open that was intended to be covered. So Adam spazzes out and grab leaves. Whenever you put something dead on something that's living, death is transferred. And for the first time, we see murder in the garden in a perfect place. God kills an animal, take the skin of the animal to cover Adam. Death is born. When a man steps outside, marriage is both natural and spiritual. There are principles that guide both. When a man, a woman, when I say man, mankind, not necessarily but or limited to the male species, but I'm speaking in reference to humanity. But when a man steps outside of the covenant of marriage, something is broken in him. His appetite and his taste for what comes with creeping is developed. Now he has a desire that he's never had before. He has a thirst that he has to quench that he's never had before, because a part of the mind has been open. So the sex act, sexting, texting, emails, pictures, hooking up, when a man says, I'm sorry for doing that to you, and I know we're married, I know we're together, I'm sorry for doing that to you, the reason you can't believe him is the act in itself is not what's wrong. The act, that's the fruit on the tree. By the time the act manifests, or the act is a manifestation of a desire that has been unguarded, laid open, because that man has been walking somewhere in the prism of his mind, and he's opened some doors that were closed. What you really need to ask this man, this woman, is how did the door get open? What happened that you step out? Whatever we do, our action is birthed from our heart, but our heart, the things in our heart, are generated through our thought process. So you think it before you do it. So now he's opened up an avenue of the mind. We've got to find out what's the root of the problem, not the fruit. He can apologize. Oh, I didn't mean to sleep with your sister or your niece. And you're mad because you're saying, how low? That's my niece. That's my sister. That's my cousin. That's my best friend. How could you do this to me? Well, let me tell you how. We don't know how long he's been soiling through the toil of an open door in his mind, and how long he's been meditating on this thought. See, the person that he cheats with, the person is just who he acts it out on. But the cheating is taking place in the mind and the heart long time ago. And this is, you got to see it for what it's worth. It starts as a seed. Seeds are being planted in him. There are also weeds in him that will feed the seed. And whatever you entertain, you become. Whatever you think you are. So for a man or a woman to step out, that seed is in them, or they've been entertaining the weed. The moment they exercise it, put it into action, the action is the fruit from the seed that have been sown through the garden of their mind. Meditating it. Do you know how much time it takes to cheat? Cheating doesn't happen overnight. Because the first step to cheating, if I'm going to do this, I've got to go through the gateway of my conscience. I've got to justify it. The body was made in truth, so whenever it's introduced into a lie, there's a level of shaking nervousness. Nervousness. Remember, I told you yesterday that the equilibrium is in your ear, where you hear, and what you understand determines your balance. So when a lie comes, it throws you off, and it throws you off balance at first, whether you pay attention to it or not. You were made in truth. So when you embrace a lie, you get nervous because the heart is still fertile. The heart is still sensitive. The heart still knows and understands truth. And what the heart is saying, the reason you're off balance, your equilibrium is being challenged, because what the heart is saying to you is, what is this you've done? Where are you? Adam. Now, once you get past your conscious, which is where your conviction is. Once you get past the soul and you're able to stabilize yourself, stabilizing and being able to lie indefinitely, being able to lie, looking someone in the face without any physical signs of a lie, being able to be convincing in your lie, being able to persuade people with your lie, through your lie, and you're not off balance, you're not off kilter. You train your soul how to lie so much until your soul has become the lie. And that's why you think everybody else believe it. You don't think we can see through the holes of the leaves that you've covered yourself with. So you try somebody else with your lie because you believe it. You've deceived and lied so long you've become the lie. And now you think I can't see the hole that is in the leaves that you're trying to use. And this is why lying to me is so insulting. So Negro, you don't think I can see through what you're saying? And it angers me because you're not trying me with your lie. You're testing my intellectual capacity. You believe I can believe that lie because you believe that lie. So inadvertently, you're calling me a lie. Because in order to believe a lie, you have to embrace the lie. And it's liars that believe lies. Now, you can deceive people who are walking in truth, but in order to be deceived, there's a level of iniquity that has to meet the lie in order to embrace it into your bosom. This is why accountability is so important, because what accountability does, it keeps you from falling for the lie. So when you're confused about something, you don't understand something, and it's confusing you, that is a sign you need to get help. I've last night, some wonderful things happened yesterday. God began to answer some prayers of mine. He began to talk to me about some stuff. And I began to ask him about some stuff, personal stuff with me, like what we're doing here. And he gave me the answer that I've been looking for. And one of the answers that he gave me, when it comes down to finding a wife, there's a song by India Ari. The name of it, I'm telling you, you got to check it out. It's called This Too Will Pass, or Shall Pass. This Too Shall Pass. This Too Will Pass. It's on the Voyage to India project. I believe it's the hidden track. Well, the lyrics to the song is, I've achieved so much in life, but I'm an amateur at love. My bank account is doing just fine, but my emotions are bankrupt. And she's really talking about she's good at everything, but love seems to be the thing that keeps tripping her up by loving the wrong one, choosing the lone one. And yesterday, now this is for me, but I'm sharing this with you because this may help you too. But when it comes down to the choosing of your spouse, your mate, get them around the people that know you, that you're accountable to, mainly if your parents are sober, mainly your parents. There's some truth. There's some truth in what they used to do in the old day, where parents would choose the mate for their child. When we read the Proverbs 31 woman, that is not the pattern, the model of what a woman should be. That is the pattern and model for a certain woman. And it doesn't make her better than anybody else, but this woman has to be equipped with these things that are described in Proverbs 31. Proverbs 31 is a letter from a mother in regards to her son, who is a king. She's writing this letter to her son to tell him this is how your wife should look. Because in the same way, a woman knows things about a man that a man does not know, because that man or that woman has lived inside of the man. God took the woman out of the man. She's seeing sides of him internally that he's never been exposed to. In the same way, women have wisdom for a man to make him better. In the same way, a mother has that wisdom for her son. Why? Because the son is the seed of her womb. She knows what went into the thought, the makeup of the man. So she knows what that man needs in order to bring what's in him out. So I really believe, not in every case, but to be safe, especially if you have sober parents, and sober parents, what I mean by parenting, it doesn't necessarily mean it's your biological, physical parents, but who has guard over your mind? Who knows you? Who's sober in your circle of accountability? These are the people that you need to take this person around, because they can see some things in them and see whether it is a good match for you. Whoever I marry, she's got to talk to my mom and my daddy, because their wisdom has been the light to guide my life. Now, when my grandmother was here, she was a part of that tree of wisdom. My great grandmother was a part of that tree of wisdom. My aunts are part of that tree of wisdom. My cousins are part of that tree of certain friends. My brothers are part of. There's a tree of wisdom that is called community, and when that community is open, wisdom is unlocked on who you should be with. Now, this is why most time when the enemy is trying to set you up, you hook up with somebody and you can't tell nobody. Y'all need to invite somebody to share. You can't tell nobody. You know why you can't tell anybody? Because your emotions and your soul have had an entanglement with something you're not supposed to have. Now the truth in you is exposing the lie in you, and you're trying to cover the lie by not allowing it to be exposed, because if the lie is exposed, the truth will prevail. I'm not knocking nobody. I'm not knocking what nobody do, but Derek Jackson ain't giving you this. Kevin Samuels definitely not giving you this. Let me pause for a second, because you need to chew on what I just said. I listened to a Kevin Samuels video, and he told, because he eat up a woman and a man, he told this boy, he say, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So the parents, or who's been parenting the child, sober, and notice I keep saying sober. Brian Armstrong, what up, bro? Good to see you, man. Nicole say, please, not Derek. I'm going to do a whole live on Derek Jackson. I've got the videos, and I'm going to show you how to find arrogance that is hidden in truth. Yeah, y'all, let me take a little parenthetical deviation just for a second to show you that deceit and lie, 80% of it is truth. It's what's designed to pull you in. No man takes fire into his bosom without being burned. Now, this is my mama. Y'all hold on. Sorry. Hey, Mom. I'm great. How are you? Good. Yes. Go ahead. Okay. All right. Are you checking the group text that I set up for the family? Okay. Okay. Well, I'm on. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but I'm saying, I'm gonna. Well, I was gonna come, but I don't want to come. I'll put it in the text, or I'll text you or call you to see what's up. Yes. Okay. Mama, by the way, I'm on live. They can't hear you, but they can hear me. That's why I'm being extremely mindful of what I say. I had to answer your call because it was you calling. Okay. And I'll call you. Okay. Bye. Sorry, y'all, but hey, that's my mama. Sorry. You'll always know, generally speaking, how a man. And I know I was getting ready to get off in this Derrick Jackson, but I'm gonna stay focused. My mom just told me something to bring my mind. But you'll always know, generally, in general, there are exceptions to every rule, but how a man will appreciate you based on the honor that he gives his mother. I put all y'all on hold for my mama. All right. What causes us to embrace a lie is the truth goes up front. What we don't see beyond the truth is the hook of deceit that's in the rear. So it's the iniquity in us, generally is something we want, that causes us to embrace something that's not true. This is why you can't tell me that the man fooled you. Well, he lied to me, and you didn't see any traces of lie on him, because you're either blinded by your own lies of lust, or you've cut yourself off from the rest of the branches that could speak truth. Stacy, I am just seeing your message. I would tell her I'm going to meet with her, but I will let her know. Stacy, can I just give a slight reveal? Just a slight reveal of what we talked about last night. So Stacy is my cousin, my sister cousin, but I'm gonna wait for your permission before I tell the people. If you say no, I'll just wait. So when a man deceives a woman, he uses truth, right? Most of the truth that he's using is birthed from his arrogance. This is why, yes, Stacy, all right. This is why so many people fall for what's going on with that man, because he knows how to dress truth the way Adam dressed the garden. Now, men have been dressers from day one. God stopped creating the earth because he had nobody to dress or till the ground. He created Adam, then he finished his production, because God will create it, but he leaves it to the man to dress it. This is why you can judge who a man is by the way he dresses. How a man dresses says so much about how he thinks. If a man is particular in his dress code, he's meticulous about his life. The reason shoes and how nice a man's shoes are says a lot about him, because the shoe is probably the last thing we see. The shoe should be compared to the closet of a house. I don't care how clean the house is. Go look in that closet. You look in that closet, that tells you the stuff that they've hidden from you. Derrick Jackson won't give you this. This stuff that I'm giving y'all. This is evangelist Sarah Hall Moore stuff right here. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, I come from a great branch. My roots are steeped in the faith. You want to know who a person is? Ask to see the closets of their house. It's never what's shown. It's always what's hidden. So I kid you not, for years I've been praying about a co-host. And for years I've had a vision of a woman co-hosting all my stuff: TV, radio, Facebook Live, YouTube, because I really believe that there's a perspective that the woman has that has not been unlocked to the man. And whenever you put a man with a woman, the whole scope of what wisdom is revealed. So what I've had to do in my life to gain perspective and to stay balanced, if I've always had to bounce ideas off of a woman. Now, last night, I just called to check on my cousin and her girls. Her name is Stacy Kelly Chisholm. She's, I'll show it to you, because you need to follow her ASAP. And I'm going to tell you why. I've talked about her before. One of the baddest attorneys in the world. Let me start there. So she knows that law back and forth. Has been extremely successful. Whenever I needed legal advice, legal counsel, no matter what it was, she's not just an attorney to the world, but she's the family attorney. My family. Brilliant. She's always been brilliant, smart, beautiful. A lot of people say my daughter looks just like her. Well, last night I called her, and I'm going to get back to this cheating man, but there's something in what I'm saying now that's going to help you understand. I called her and we had a conversation, and the time is now. She's going to have her own podcast, but we're going to do a lot of stuff together. So we're going to do stuff together, and then she's going to do stuff by herself. There's not a more qualified voice, a person that I would endorse more than this girl here. Here's why. Because we were raised together, and because our blood is the same, we have the same DNA because we come from the same branch. I know her inside out. She would tell you, I'm going to bring on and let her tell you, that there have been critical and crucial times in her life where she's not spoken nothing to anyone but God. And in the moment she's talking to God or praying about a situation or something's been going, I've always called her right on time. Well, last night was one of those times as well. Let me tell you what that is. It's a connection that goes deeper than physical blood. It's a spiritual connection of who she's supposed to be to me, who I'm supposed to be to her. And God will place people in your life that will be pillow posts to uphold you in your weakest time, and who will help be a voice for you, to you, with you, intercessors on your behalf. If there was someone who I would say IQ is better than mine, who understands at a high level, not just natural things, but spiritual things, if there was a female me, not in regards to the weakness and proclivities of my flesh, but I'm dealing intellectual and spirit, it's this girl right here, and her name is Stacy Kelly Chisholm. She's my blood biological cousin, sister. We were raised together. And she has a podcast coming. She's going to do a little Facebook Live, but you need to subscribe to her YouTube channel, and I'm going to give you the information in the days to come. But ladies, hear me and hear me good. She's also equipped to balance levels of intellect that I have. She's one of my check partners. I'll call her, talk to her about it. She's going to bless your life. Black women don't have a voice. Yeah, we got one in the White House. I just want her to do the right thing and speak for us. We don't really know the inner details. I believe she's for us. I believe that with all my heart. I am pro Kamala Vice President, Madam Vice President Harris. I am. She's a AKA. The Vice President is. I believe she's for us. But we need more voices to speak for us, defend us, give us wisdom, insight, understanding, revelation, so that our lives can be fruitful. And I'm telling you, what you need is in this girl's mouth. Now, I just put up a profile right down here. Make it look. Y'all need to follow her right away. There's no one that I'd endorse with more assurance than this voice right here. She's a mother of two. She's gone through a lot of things in life. And I'm not going to tell her whole story, but you need to follow her. This girl got some wisdom. She has some understanding that you need for your life. When I talk about my cousin who was killed in a car accident, that's her sister. When I talk about my aunt who lifted up her hands and transitioned into glory, that's her mother. Trust me. She's gone through everything that you can imagine and has still succeeded, overcome the odds, and she's still looking good. She doesn't look like what she's been through. Some of y'all look tired. You look like everything you've been through. I'm just kidding. But she looks good. She's maintained her youth through her struggles. She has a teachable spirit. You need to hear her. And listen, when God confirmed that thing last night, y'all don't know how excited I am. So follow her because she's got a lot of good stuff coming. So listen to this. I'm going to talk about this deceit and then I'm out. The reason a man embraces the forbidden fruit is his senses has been open to deceit. The reason he can't be faithful and he honors and adores that side piece is a part of his mind has been open to embrace deceit, and he's fallen in love with deceit. When you take deceit into your bosom and you begin to choose, everything you choose is chosen out of the lens of deceit. So everything that you see becomes a lie. Everything that you touch is a lie. So when you become the lie you tell, you choose from the lie you are. And just because a person says, I'm sorry, if they're apologizing, but they've not dealt with the root of the lie from the seed of iniquity, then weeds grow in them to choke truth because they become that lie. And I don't care how many times they cry, they can't stop. This is one of the reasons they tell you, if you have a wild animal, never give them meat. Don't give them raw meat, because once they taste that raw meat, it creates a surge. It creates an appetite in them that they can't fight. And their desires are open. The man steps outside the covenant of marriage and he starts to cheat and he opens up those desires. There's a box that is open in his mind that he can never close. It takes counseling, deliverance, and then it takes this man being accountable to keep him out of the dark places of his own mind. This is why relationally, let me see what Stacy's saying here. This is why relationally, You cannot afford to embrace people and you don't know what side of truth that they're on, because you're listening, you're hearing, you're processing their lies. If there's not a safeguard on your soul, the lies they tell you will seep into your soul. And if you're not careful, those lies will grow in you. We become one with our thoughts. So Stacy says, thank you, cousin. I'm sorry, you guys. I thought he would talk about the impact I told him he's had on. Well, you don't know the impact you've had on mine. There have been many days that I have questioned the things God's called me to do. And I would talk to you and you think I was encouraging you, and you say something that triggers in me. And when I see your strength, I really believe that there is nothing that I can't overcome. And it's the strength that I've seen you walk through the years, through every phase of your life, through every struggle of your life. You didn't quit when you felt like it. You didn't. I never forget a conversation we had, and we didn't know what was going on because you were having these headaches. And you and I began to talk. We talked about the word. We went through this. We went through that. And when I got off that call, the way that you embraced the word of truth encouraged me to do more of the same. So oftentimes the people that we think we are encouraging are actually encouraging us. And you've been that for me, and I love you to life. You better believe it. So we become one with our thoughts. We become one with what we think on. Whatever we feed the soil of our mind, we become one. We become in unity. We become in harmony. So when a man is left alone in the prison of his own mind, and he's looking at pornography, he's looking at all this butt on TV, he's looking at all this tail on Facebook, he's looking at all this tail on YouTube, he's watching twerk videos everywhere he goes. But all he sees is tail. And that's all he's entertaining. And he doesn't have anything to combat what he's feeding his soul, or what's seeping into his soul, what's simmering in his soul. He becomes what he sees. He becomes what he hears. He becomes one with his understanding. You know, this is why, and I know it's old school, but I'm going to help some of you ladies out. You don't let them chicks come in your bedroom. In the words of one of my sisters, some of them heifers don't have no business in your house. They don't. Everybody that is with you is not for you. And everybody that is family is not kin. See, you can have family. You can have family who's not rooted in faith. And they feed you knowledge and understanding out of the poison of their experience, and their experiences and how they dealt with things doesn't resemble truth. And whatever doesn't resemble truth is not of God. A person's wisdom to you should resemble the wisdom giver. If you want to know what God looks like, find somebody who has wisdom, because it's wisdom that helps extend your days and keeps you out of the potholes of deceit. That's why the scripture says, above all, you should desire wisdom. It's the wisdom of God, the wisdom from God. And if you want to know how to get it, it's simple. It's done through prayer. If any man lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who's willing to give. God will give you wisdom of who you're supposed to be with, and you will see them even though you've not laid eyes on them, and he will reveal certain characteristics, certain attributes. He'll give you the wisdom before you get there, but you got to have a heart that is open to truth. Too many of us have become one with the lies of this world, with the lies of the housewives, with the lies of the latest gossip. We become one with the lies of what's Kanye's, what is wife name? What is Kanye's wife? The one that got all that, I'm telling you, she looked like she got a love seat on her back. Her rump so big, and you follow Nicki Minaj and y'all around here trying to get these surgeries, and your tail is all out here. Kim Kardashian. See, you want to be these Hollywood stars, but you don't know the demons they torment. Listen, let me tell you something. When the heart is not fertilized in truth, everything about you begin to resemble a lie. Now, people are out having these surgeries to what they say enhance their beauty. Well, who told you weren't beautiful already? What is it that you're seeking to add a football field to your posterior anatomy? Why your rump got to be so huge? Why? Because the culture has embraced excessive. It's in the Bible. It's called lasciviousness. It's out of control. You got these women. They ain't just adding to their tail. They adding to their lips. They don't want no wrinkles in their forehead because they believe that the epitome of beauty is in the physical appearance. But let me tell you something. Whatever you overly indulge in, that is a sign that you're lacking in self-esteem. A person who is sure about who they are understands I don't need nothing and I can step out. What we're doing is we're showcasing for each other because we want the attention from each other. And the place where that is rooted to get the attention is the same thing that leads a man off to cheat on the one he's with. He's unfulfilled with himself, so he tries to overly accommodate himself in things he believes he looks good in. You're not happy with you. So when you are unhappy with you, that's in a region of your mind that seeks satisfaction. So you go to having all these surgeries on your body and you're still not satisfied. And you start adding more breast, adding more eyelashes. And it's nothing wrong with balance. Even if you have a surgery, balance should be the key. Sometimes surgery is necessary. Sometimes you want to add, I just want to add a little bit to complement, like what makeup is supposed to. It's supposed to complement you. It ain't supposed to take over you. You take off your makeup and you look like another person. You're living a lie. You're trying to accommodate something. It's your self-confidence. It's an arena of the mind where your identity lives. If there's a shortage in your identity, then you're going to overly compensate yourself in other areas. Got to be happy with you and what God said about you. All of us have flaws. One of my flaws is I look too good. You know, I have flaws in my own body. But I do understand that my body doesn't define me. I am who God's created me, and I am more spirit than I am physical. So I invest more in my spirit so I can control my physicality. Oh, y'all wanted me to say I was ugly? You ain't gonna never hear that. I'm never gonna trash me. I'm gonna tell the truth about me and challenge me. I'm gonna push myself into change, but I'm never gonna talk down on me. And I don't need no surgeries or nobody to confirm. I know who I am. I look too good. Pick it. Laugh a little bit. It'll help your heart. So you have to fall in love with the idea of who God said you are and not the image that you see on TV and magazines. You do whatever the culture tells you to do. We're not called to follow the culture. We're called to lead it. They're not the standard. We are. This is why I can't get with some of these preachers trying to be rappers. You can tell by the videos. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone. They're trying to mirror the culture. And it's okay to be fashionable. I believe in that. I do. But as it relates to the rules of the culture is not supposed to lead us. We as kingdom people are supposed to lead the culture. Look at no TV to determine what I need to do next. They need to look at me. Kevin Samuels need to watch my show. Derek Jackson need to watch. Tell you wouldn't have got caught in some of that stuff you got. We're supposed to lead the culture. There's a level of truth, authenticity that we have to give so people know that we're not the hero. There are too many people in the kingdom. Listen, so I told y'all my whole family in the kingdom. This is another one of my cousins. I like that, what he just said. You have to be a good steward of your good looks. It's a blessing from God. Listen, he's a trainer. He's a bishop in the Lord's church. He's a pastor. He's kingdom man. He and his wife are leaders and generals in the kingdom. Make sure y'all follow my cousin, Trey Wright, Bishop Wright. You have to be a good steward. That's right. You have to maintain what God has given you. But too many of us are looking to the culture to be our guide. So whatever we see on Housewives and all these old gossiping fake reality shows, we go do. No. It was kingdom before there was culture. We're supposed to have a kingdom culture. All right. So a side piece, the side piece is not even the problem of a man. It's his inability to be satisfied with himself. When he's not satisfied with himself, he's going to try to find things to compensate himself for what he is lacking. And generally speaking, he's going to lean to whatever gives him praise. Now that's a whole nother side. He leans to what gives him praise, where he's honored, where his name is magnified. That's what he leans to, because remember, he's lacking. And wherever he's lacking, he's looking for compensation. I want to probably tomorrow or tonight, I'm going to talk about, you can't make a whore a housewife. There's a mentality of the whore. There's something in her that communicates to him, and they find each other and they don't even know each other. I'm telling you, so being in radio, one thing that I've learned on the engineering side is how radio waves attract. I'm going to show you something. What's broken in you is attractive to predators. A predator can look and see what's weak. This is the idea behind the scripture that the enemy walks to and fro as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. A lion watches the prey. He preys on his prey. P-R-E-Y. And the only way to get away from the enemy's P-R-E-Y is we have to P-R-A-Y for wisdom. Wisdom will show you the wolf even though he's in sheep clothing. In the same way, a liar can find another liar. Wisdom can expose the lie. So I want to deal with, I want to talk about, not today, tonight, tomorrow, and next week. I want to deal with, you can't make a whole housewife. I want to talk about that. And then I want to talk about the wisdom that guides us to see what we've been blinded to. This wisdom thing is real, y'all. I mean, it's real. Check it. Wisdom unlock things around you, in you, and show you things beyond you. Wisdom will have you sitting at the house by yourself because all your friends are trifling. Wisdom will tell you when a smooth person come to you and you think they're the one from you and you're emotionally excited about the possibilities. Wisdom will expose who they are before they get there. Never forget. I'm gonna share this and then I'm out. There was a young lady that I was dating. I was just unsure about. She was gorgeous now. Ooh, front cover of Essence magazine. Gorgeous. And she had the physique. She was in shape, fit. She was fit. She's a brick house. Since the girl had it going on. And she was extremely educated. She's a medical doctor. And all of her successes, and she talked extremely well about God. She knew the Bible left and front and back. I mean, amazing. I was more turned on by her intellectual capacity. Her physicality was just a compliment to her intellect. And we used to have these great conversations that were out of this world. And one day, after I had been dating her maybe a month, I had a dream about a sacrifice being made to an idol. And in the dream, the smoke was going up, but it was going up into her nostrils. I knew then, this. And it finally came out in conversation. I didn't tell her about the dream. I just watched her. But God was showing me something about her that I would not have known because I didn't know her. Here's what had happened. She was so smart, she done thought herself outside the Bible. She was burning incense. And there's a ritual that she had because she was into Zen. And she started inviting all these old strange spirits. And we had a conversation and she told me she didn't believe in the Son of God. She didn't believe in the Holy Spirit, but she believed in God. So I said, well, what are you going to do with the scripture that says no man comes unto the Father except by me? She said, well, that's just it. If you understand how the Bible was constructed, you'd understand different letters that were added were not in the original text. She said, so I don't even believe in the Bible. All right. Get your hat, your coat. But it was God warning me. That's not somebody that I needed to become one with. So I had to dismiss her immediately. No, we can't even be friends. We can't. Because whatever you entertain will filter in your thoughts. In your thoughts, you become one with and you become what you think. All right. That's call for time for today. Thank y'all. Listen, man. I do this because I believe all of us need it. For those of you that support, for those of you that you sponsor what we do, thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your sponsorship dollars. Trust me, it goes in good grounds. For those of you that would like to become a monthly partner with us, Cash App is on the screen, sponsor Coffee Time. I am glad you're here. Without your ears, I don't have a voice. You make this possible. We are a match made in heaven. You keep showing up. Unless God says otherwise, I'm going to be right here. There's a lot of great things that we have coming up. There's a lot of great things that I'm looking forward that God is doing. And I'm glad I get to share this journey with you. Remember, you were born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to you today that the wisdom on the inside of you is not able to handle. You've got to calm down, slow down, stop leaning to your own understanding. In all your ways, trust him and let wisdom lead. When wisdom lead, you will always win. You all have a great productive day. Remember to speak higher, speak life. Don't forget you can sow 1,000, 10,000, 500. I'm not going to say whatever you think about. No, you need to sow what's going to help. If you don't have a lot to sow what you have. Thank you all. I love you guys. Have a great day.
Hey. Coffee time, coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time over crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on. Coffee time in my life. Coffee time. Feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.